What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Rec Room. I'm your boy Tony the Brick Whisperer, and it is about time that I get back to doing what I do. I believe it was my previous video, I had said I was going to try and get another video going. That just wasn't in the cards for me. Before I went and had my right knee replaced, and so here we are, about 2 weeks after my right knee was replaced. Let me tell you, it's been a journey. It's still quite sore, but I am improving greatly. So I want to thank everybody that has sent my way well wishes, whether it was over social media, a private text message, phone call, whatever the case may be. So thank you all. A lot of things have been happening during my recovery. I had been working on a lot of stuff for Bricks and Minifigs Avondale, not a sponsor, as well as trying to get in as much time as I can to hang out with the family while I recover. And let me tell you, my family has been amazing in this whole journey because, I mean, let's face it, when you're down recovering from this type of a surgery, everybody bands together, and it's been truly amazing. So the other day I wanted to get a video going, so I got everything built, and as as it would happen, life happens, and almost a week has gone by, and here I am finally taking care of this part, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and get all of this knocked out. First off, the disclaimers. Of course, Lego has not given me anything. Bricks and Minifigs Avondale hasn't given me anything. I'm not being paid to do any of this. Everything that you see here is from our collection, myself and Mrs. Brick Whisperer's collections. So what do you say we dive right in? Pardon me. Alrighty, so first we are going to zip over here. As you saw, the title of the episode is called The BER Months Are Here. So the BER months, September, October, November, December, and that's when all the holiday stuff is starting to really ramp up. And the original idea was to do something for each of the major holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. But it dawned on me. I had already done the Thanksgiving turkey brickhead. Alright, too easy. So I guess that one's just going to be sitting out for this episode, which is not a problem at all. However, let's go ahead and knock out a quick Halloween set. We're going to go after this one right here. Set number 40772, the Celebration Series Luminous Ghost. So this was just recently released on the 1st of October. This was a gift with purchase, and not a bad little set. I really enjoyed it. I especially liked I don't even know what color those would be. Almost like a satin trans clear bricks. Those were really cool. But hey, let's just dive in and knock out the build. Here we go. And we're off. Alright, so quick set. It only took me about 13 and a half minutes to get this set built. So I like some of the holiday sets. I especially love them when the sets are free. Like I said, got this as a gift with purchase. Now, the only thing that I wasn't necessarily a big fan of when it came to this set, and I blame this on the automation of the Lego system, the factories and such, it was missing a part. Like right there, you see me looking all over for it. It was actually missing a part, so I just kept building regardless. Another thing I like about this particular set is that it has a light element with it, and I will be showing that off here momentarily. So you see me kind of sitting kind of at an angle there, and truth be told, I'm still sitting that way because my knee is still quite sore. And apparently Lobo wants to get in on the conversation. Alright, and And so we get the rest of the ghost knocked out. I thought the chains hanging from the arms, I thought that was a pretty cool little touch. The little pumpkin. Very easy and simple build. The bat was an interesting build, which is what's getting knocked out right now. And there we have it. So yeah, sorry about the lighting, the fuzziness. Things weren't necessarily working well for me this day, apparently. But there is the ghost. So not a bad little build. As you can see, there's a little button here in the back which activates the light element that's in there. And the satin transclear bricks that are in there, they're the ones that really disperse the light. So well done, Lego. Good job. Now, Mrs. Brick Whisper had... Oh, let me fix this. There we go. So Mrs. Brick Whisper had recommended that we start knocking out some of the Christmas sets. So over the next few months, that's pretty much all you're going to see. You might see a set from Mrs. Brick Whisper getting tossed in there. But we are going to start doing some of our Christmas sets and getting our display over here started. And so, hey, why not get the ball rolling? Here we are coming up on the end of October. Yes, I know. Fall still has to have its thing. Thanksgiving still has to have its thing. But the number of Christmas sets that I have, they're starting to get more and more. So we're going to dive in. Let me come over here right quick. So here we are. We are jumping into, boom, set number 40425, the Nutcracker Brickhead. So this set was originally released on the 1st of October of 2020 and was retired on the 31st of December of 2021 with a recommended retail price of $10. So another fun little set. I like the little action feature that we will get to in just a moment. But let's get into this quick 10-minute build, which is not going to take you 10 minutes to watch. Here we go. All right, and the Nutcracker is going. As you see, I already got everything set off to the side and organized. Now, oddly enough, this is funny. Everybody knows that Mrs. Brick Whisperer really likes the Brickheads. This one, she wasn't particularly a fan of. However, I liked this one. I love Christmas. One of my favorite holidays. I especially love decorating for Christmas and getting everything festive. Now, I believe that there are times to get everything up. Do I believe that the Christmas decorations should start going up right now? Heck no. But I do know that they are coming, so we're going to go ahead and start knocking out these Christmas sets. In fact, because I'm still recovering from my knee surgeries, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to get the outside of the house decorated. Alright, so the Nutcracker's finished. Let's knock out the base real fast. Fun little touch with the gifts off to the side. And with the tree. Alright, and once again, so obviously we're not doing this turntable in the same area we normally do. This is right next to my rec room. You know, we have the overhead lights. We have a window that's right there by the front door. So, yeah, lighting on this wasn't the greatest. But hopefully things will get better with our future builds. With our future videos, excuse me. So I really liked the Nutcracker Brickhead. Like I said, when it comes to Christmas, I love Christmas. I just have fun with it. And this particular one I thought was clever because, and let's see if I can do this without the glare. But as you can see, his mouth works. So I gotta hold him like this, otherwise I'm gonna rattle him right off the base. So a fun little build. I enjoyed them, and probably after I take the Halloween Lego sets down, then we will work on getting the Christmas stuff up. So moving on, we're going to jump into boom, set number 40293, the Christmas Carousel. So this set was released on the 1st of October of 2018 and was retired at the end of that same year, 31st of December 2018. This set was a gift with purchase, very much like the Ghost. This one is a pretty cool set, and this particular one I would love to get a motor for, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Maybe I'll even try to tie in everything that has movement. I'll try to tie everything together so that everything moves off the same motor, or a couple of them, who knows. But let's dive into this 14-minute build. So here we go. All right, and we are off. So this is on one hand, this is a pretty cool set. I really like this one. Again, it's a festive little set. I like all the red, greens, and golds that come with this set. The only thing that I'm not necessarily fond of was essentially the interior of the actual carousel. I think it's too cramped, but that's okay. You see me building the movement mechanism there, which will make the whole carousel spin. Fun little set. There's some repetition, not quite as much as botanical sets, but there's some. Sometimes I have to remind myself just at what angle my camera is sitting so I can keep the build in frame. All right, let's get the top knocked out. Now this part was a little tricky because, as you see, practically the entire carousel is built, but now we got to put everything into the carousel. In my opinion, that could have been done before doing the outside and top of the carousel, but that's okay. Just my own personal opinion. And there we have it. So as you can see inside the little carousel there's a tiny little Christmas tree and a little train, and you will see here momentarily the whole movement of it. So I love this build. So I really like this one. So here's the build, and you got the little knob right here, and you just turn it, and away it goes. Now what's really cool, and I just happen to have this built the correct way, I suppose, but right there inside you got the little window there so that you can see the mechanism actually turn and get the thing going. So there's a few Christmas sets that have rotation and movement and so forth. Putting a motor on it it's not too difficult. Tying a number of them together, that's something else entirely. All right, so we are going to knock out one last build. So this week was Mrs. Brick Whisperer's birthday. And oh my goodness, Mrs. Brick Whisperer, I know I don't say this enough. You are truly a blessing. You're truly an amazing mom, an amazing wife. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for me when it comes to this passion, this hobby. Couldn't have done it without you. And the fact that you're now diving into it, it just fills me with joy. And with that now comes a little razzing. So for years I would always catch a little grief about how I have too much. Give me one moment. about how I have too much, and do I really need this? Do I really need that? I believe it was last year or the year before. Um, there was a gift with purchase. It was Luke's lightsaber, and when I went to go buy it, she started just doing the whole, really? We're buying these sets so that you can get a gift with purchase? Well, here, let's fast forward a year. This individual, she bought a set, or she bought some stuff off of Lego.com, not a sponsor, so that she could get the gift with purchase. Really? As everybody remembers, a couple of videos ago, I did the upscale baby astronaut. And so she loves a little baby astronaut. She has since found that there are minifigure baby astronauts and classic space astronauts, and so now she wants to get each one of every color. So what does she do? While out on recovery, we decided to go pay a visit to Bricks and Minifigs Avondale, and she found a set. In fact, I have it right here. Ugh. This is not one that I'm going to display on the channel because, as you see, 40712, this would be the Micro Rocket Launchpad set. This was a gift with purchase. Do you know why she bought this? She bought this because it had some classic space astronauts. The white baby astronaut, the blue astronaut. She bought a set simply for the minifigs. And yet she talks so much trash with me. But that's okay. It is what it is. So, I know she loves her botanicals. I might not like the repetition of it all, but that's okay. She loves them, and I love it. It makes her happy. So we're going to keep doing what makes her happy while we build, boom, set number 10373, the mini bonsai trees. So this set first released on the 1st of August of 2025, yet to be announced when it's going to retire, with a recommended retail price of $65. Alright, so this was an interesting set, and again, lots of repetition. So this set took me just under an hour to build, so let's get this knocked out and figure out what we're going to do for the next video. Here we go. Alright, and we are off. Now, one of the beautiful things about this particular set was the fact that inside the instruction books, they identify what each tree is. So, for example, this very first tree is Ginkgo biloba. I had no idea that they did bonsai trees of ginkgo. So, the trees, the pots for each tree was, or the stands for each tree, very, very similar, different. Like the pots themselves were pretty much the same. The stands were slightly different. The trunks were a little different for each particular one. But let me tell you, the repetition certainly came with the leaves. Holy cow. So I would just sit there and get them all knocked out. Alrighty. So now we start fixing it to the tree. Not going to lie, this particular one was a little bit of a challenge because parts just didn't want to cooperate with me. And it probably doesn't help that I have to sit, off canter like that. So here we are diving into tree number 2. This would be the Japanese black pine. This one was interesting. I thought it was, kind of cool with all the... See, when I first saw these particular pieces, I just saw them as Wolverine claws, and sure enough, that's pretty much what they were until they started developing them as different colors, and they become animal whiskers, and here they are in green as well pine needles. And let the repetition begin. Oh no, what do y'all think? Maybe a Christmas set or two, and one of Mrs. Brick Whisper's botanicals along the way. Hopefully, will get me, out of the botanical stuff for a while until Lego releases new ones. Yeah, 6 of those claws per leaf. Talk about repetitious. All right, and diving into the last tree, the wisteria. This one's kind of cool looking with the hanging flowers coming off the branches. And again, there's the base for it. But if you've seen it, all of the pots for all 3 trees, they are all the same. And you want to talk about repetition? Well, here I go, about to open up that final bag. And it's always the leaves and flowers, very, very repetitious. I'm starting to get to the point where I can knock out 1 or 2 of the same thing and then do the rest of it blindfolded. So not a bad little set, an interesting one. Right now it's already occupying one of the shelves in Mrs. Brick Whisperer's office. Like I said, it took me just under an hour to complete all 3 trees. These leaves were a whole lot easier to put on. And there we have them. Alright, so we see how, I guess you say, grainy everything looks. Hopefully that will change here in the near future. Fingers crossed. Alright, so that will wrap it up for today. Today I've got some, I'm hoping to get some straightening up done here in my rec room. I've got a lot of things I'm trying to get taken care of while I continue to recover. Right about now is the time that I go grab one of my ice packs for my knee because it is a little sore. So I'm going to sit, relax, and who knows, maybe I'll even help Mrs. Brick Whisperer start straightening up the house just a little bit. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe down there at the bottom. Share this with your family, share this with your friends, share this with anybody you know that loves Lego. And with all that being said, let's hear you all loud and proud. We'll see you when we see you. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your day. Goodbye.